Good day and welcome to the Business and Education Summit 2020. We are so glad that you're here with us today. My name is Todd Lynn. I'm the Workforce Initiative Chairman and I'm also the Supervisor of Career and Technical Education for Shenandoah County Public Schools. Our objective is to create workforce models focusing on information technology, construction, and manufacturing. We will build pathways from post-secondary and K-12, allowing entry into an industry. We will do this replicating the already successful health model and via the dedicated feedback from our business community. How can we develop programs both at the public school level, private school, and at post-secondary to meet the needs of these sectors? As we travel around, we want to utilize our existing courses. We want to make sure that we are being responsible and reflective of what our businesses need and want as we look to increase the pipeline that enter the workforce. As we go through these next couple of slides, we're going to share with you some data from different reports that we'll reference as we go through. This first one here is looking at the 10-year demand, and we'll call your attention to the middle column there that's in orange, where we're looking at where's the 10-year demand, where's the growth going to occur, and what sectors do we need to focus on. Based on these two slides, we know that despite the changes from COVID, we need to stay the course. We will maintain our program alignment to the economy of the recent past and what is forecasted for the future. From the first study, Chimera Economics and Analytics, we can use the national outlook as stable. The economic impact will be sharp and short, but not a recession. With the help of the federal and state government, there was an additional $1 billion invested in work-based learning and distance learning and a streamlined process to repurpose existing funding. The Shenandoah Valley Workforce Development Board conducted a study with the regional manufacturers and found the top manufacturing subsectors were food, plastics and rubber, printing and related, fabricated metal, and chemical. And manufacturing is the second largest sector regionally. The information we see here is direct feedback from our businesses. This is going out to our public school partners, our private school, and our secondary so that we can continue to work on these needs as you've relayed them to us. So as we look to build this workforce model, how can we at public school level and post-secondary level fill these needs based off of your responses? So other works that are in progress, right? So we know that we have different issues at hand with COVID-19. Our partners are actively working on the most pressing obstacles to work: childcare, tuition, and transportation. Our focus today and over the coming weeks is to build the model pathways student to job. Let's maintain focus on the model. We need a basic pathway to get employees into your business with on-ramps and off-ramps for specialization. So has this worked in other workforce sectors? The answer to that is yes, and that is in the health sciences. We have tremendous partners with the public school systems, post-secondary, and with Valley Health. So the starting point for this was about 10 years ago, we all came together and said there is a need for healthcare sciences workers. So the question became, do public schools even know what that need is? Are we aware of the labor market? Can we translate this into a different public school initiative where we can develop classes and get more students into that pipeline? And then who are the essential partners to drive that partnership? Is it businesses? Is it the school division? Is it post-secondary partners? Is it workforce solutions? Who are those people that need to be at the table? Stumbling blocks. So as we got going, we started working on common language. What do certain things even mean? What is time to response? What is a 4x4 schedule? The hospital spoke a different language than public schools, and that's okay, but we were committed to finding out how to work together to meet that need. So monthly meetings took place. We did different field trips to different places where we saw how this worked in other locations. And then different working groups started to form. So we started looking at data. We started looking at school calendars. What are fiscal years? What are budget cycles? How can we make this work so that everybody gets a little bit of the advantage of more people being in the pipeline? So the Valley Health Partnership was launched about 15 months after we started with a pledge from Valley Health of $300,000 over 2 years to the public school divisions, which funded a half of a full-time employee. It increased capacity in health sciences, so different school divisions were able to add different classes, such as a nursery program, Introduction to Health and Medical Sciences, Project Lead the Way for more high-level thinking and problem-solving skills. So through that partnership, we were able to increase and offer our expansion, but that also put the public schools on notice that we had to come up with the money after 2 years and the other half of that to make it a full-time position. So how do we know that it started to work? Where's the data that says, hey, this has been beneficial for everybody? One of the pieces of evidence that we look at is how many students have enrolled in health sciences classes. Starting in 2012 and 2013, we had 790 students. And 7 years later, we have 2,024 students enrolled with a tremendous amount of increase. And you can see by school division how it's also increased. So it's had an impact totally and in each school division as we've moved forward. One of the big things is, hey, how do we get the retention rate where it needs to be? So in this same time period, Valley Health has hired 205 full-time employees. Out of that, 126 are still employed. So we're looking at a 61% retention rate amongst those people that have entered the pipeline and been in Valley Health and continue to be in Valley Health. So lessons learned, right? The partnership is based on a solid foundation. We had strong leadership. We had a desire to come together to meet a need because we didn't have enough people in the pipeline, right? Turnover has occurred. I am one of those people that have sat in those Valley Health meetings since the beginning, but I've also been in 3 different seats, working in 3 different public school divisions. We've had new superintendents. We've had turnover in Valley Health. But the driving force behind this has been the need for talent development and increasing the amount of people in the pipeline because there's such a need in that sector. Flexibility. We had to be flexible, right? There's certain things that don't fit within a school parameter. They don't fit within a business parameter. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But if it can work, let's work to find a way. One of those examples is we wanted to see if we could come up with a regional health sciences center where we all came together. We couldn't figure out the logistics of how to get people bused there in different schedules and different school divisions. So we abandoned that. But it didn't mean that we didn't work in each school division. Explore it. Everything is on the table. We want to see what's out there. There's no bad idea. There's nothing out there that can't happen, but we got to know what it is. So if it's not a match, we can do strategic abandonment. But if it is a match, we got to put it on the table and we got to figure out what it is. The last 2 are absolutely critical to the process. Patience, understanding, and a desire to want to learn from each other. Right? We understand that things need to happen sooner rather than later. But until we understand what each other is talking about, we're going to struggle with that. We have to understand how our coursework, whether it's at public schools, whether it's at post-secondary, work to meet your need. And if we need to adjust and adapt, or if there's a new course, if there's another item that we need to do, we've got to work through those. So the burning thing that has happened over the 10 years of the Valley Health Partnership is there has been a desire to want to learn, improve, and investigate that has helped everybody in the long run. And the other thing is we have to examine the data. We have to listen to the employer. At the end of the day, it can't be what, public schools have a niche in this. We have to fill a need, and we have rules that we have to follow. But at the same token, we want to follow what the data says. We want to follow what the employers say. And how can we meet that need? Where's that common ground? Liz Savage from Valley Health has been instrumental in this process as we are looking to expand into other sectors, including IT, construction, and manufacturing. She's aware of that and provided this quote for us as she has seen the benefit for Valley Health. And she says, in order to sustain a skilled workforce in light of the documented high number of retirements planned in the near future, Valley Health partnered with the area high schools, technical college, and Shenandoah University to build a strong pipeline of entry-level talent into the healthcare system. This win-win alliance provides students who are not in an academic college track employment where they earn a competitive wage, have opportunities for future tuition support and career progression, and can remain in this area for years to come. So the formula for success, we kind of labeled this out for you guys. Strong leadership willing to make a difference in both identifying employment shortfalls within the region, both in schools and in business and industry. Work to a complete understanding. There's going to be times of frustration. There's going to be times where progress is slow. in order to make the benefit, the impact that we want. But we've got to work to that complete understanding so that we can work together. We've got to create the map that allows us to follow it, but we also have to be flexible enough to adjust that map as things change. Looking for partners to help in the mission, whether that's post-secondary, nonprofits, public schools, other businesses are essential to this as we look to expand this into our other sectors. Continuing to revisit, are we staying on course? Are we meeting the goals that we've set forth of increasing students into the pipeline? Difficult conversations become really easy because it's no longer personal. It's about developing a pipeline. It's about developing people wanting to get into these sectors and being part of these amazing jobs and opportunities that are available in our region. So it's easier to come in and have that conversation and say, hey, this is what I need in order to make this happen. Hey, this is what we need from an employment side. Can you work on these skills? We need this piece of equipment. Those conversations become really, really easy because we're all on the same page. We're willing to sit down at the map and say, hey, we're doing this for our region. We're doing this to have a better economic future. We're going to build the workforce model. So one of the items that is getting ready to come out is you're going to see the current offerings that are in the region, in the sectors that we've identified in terms of IT, construction, and manufacturing. With those, you'll see the school division that they are part of, the name, and the description that is provided by the Virginia Department of Education. So you have an understanding of what is available to that. Another piece of this, what we will want your feedback is we have to credential our students. So if you have credentialing options for us to visit, we will also want your feedback on that as well. You will see a different survey that will come out for each one of the sectors, and it'll have each course offering and what they do. You'll see some of these, in this case, in construction, it says agriculture power systems. So we are not only just looking at carpentry classes or masonry classes or electricity classes, but some of the other classes that involve students using their hands, and we want to see if that's a fit. We want your feedback. Is that something that is available and will be helpful to you based off the description provided? So next steps, right? We would like for you, everybody, to review the course offerings for your industry sector. Are those meeting your needs? Can we do more? What is the next class that we need to offer? Can you complete the survey corresponding to your industry? Because we want your feedback. Our immediate focus is on information technology, manufacturing, and construction because that's where the data tells us to look. We want to plan for a more in-depth, in-person, if the situation allows us, virtual conversation during the first quarter of 2021 where we'll disseminate this information out to you. And then we want to involve your business in building these models and be committed to this partnership. We appreciate everybody's feedback and time. So the Workforce Initiative is very thankful for this opportunity. We're looking forward to launching these workforce models as we look to increase the talent pipeline to meet your need. Thank you for your time.